It's another beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And we've come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the...
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. As always, taking place from where? Where, might you ask? You know where the hell it's at. It's deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction. And what do we do every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction? Raider Nation, what do we do? We drop back deep in the pocket and let it fly league wide as we go ghost to the post every Monday and Wednesday. Because not only did our game happen, all the rest of the National Football League played as well. There was a full slate of Week 15. There was a lot of fuckery that went on in the league this week, and we need to discuss it all. So, let's drop back together, shall we? Deep in the pocket. And let's get this Ghost to the Post started. So first off, where do I begin? Obviously, the buzz in the nation today was the fuckery from Sunday. Where do I begin? Which storyline do I pick? Do I take the index card, the folded pieces of paper? Do I take the fact you made our number one wide receiver sit down on the final play of the game when he didn't even have know why he was getting set down? Do we talk about the fumble? Do we talk about the fact he can't advance the ball? Where do we start? Because obviously we'll start with that. Papergate. Let's start with that one. Because that seems to be the biggest buzz. Because I think we all seen something was not right going on out there, but it took a little, it all happened in the heat of the moment. Now after we've all had a little time to set back, reflect, see the videos, see the pictures, watch it over and over again, and see what happened. Now we've formulated our opinions. As I have as well. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see if you have one fixed object and another fixed object, and you are able to slide a third fixed object between two other said fixed objects. That means there is a gap between fixed object A and fixed object B, because you can slide fixed object C between the two of them. That doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure out. But apparently, that common knowledge is far above the intellect level of this douchebag-ass ref. Now, the smirk and smile on his face when he got to say first down fucking cowgirls was almost more than I could stand. Because you can almost see him cashing the check Jerry gave him in his head. bullshit. Fuckery number one. Now, they thought that was enough. But what happened was the Cowboys didn't go down and score a touchdown. So, that screwed up their whole plan. So, we get the ball, and now we're starting to come down the field. And oh shit. It looks like they might score. Well, how about this? They've already got Amari Cooper out. Mr. Crabtree, tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. Why don't you come with us? Go get in the tent. Crab's like, what am I going to the tent for? Concussion protocol. Go to the tent. So, you take our number one wide receiver, our number one weapon in the red zone, off the field on the final play. The only fucking play. There's like seconds left in the game. Now you're telling me that if Tom Brady gets sacked with 25 seconds left and takes a shot, bounces his fucking dome off the turf, you're telling me that if he doesn't get up in about 5 seconds and get himself to the huddle and try to get ready to go for the game-winning play, that you're going to tell him, oh no, Tommy boy, time out, you got to go to concussion pro. Bullshit! Tom Brady would be allowed to try and win the fucking game. But because it's the Oakland fucking Raiders, they said, oh no, Crab, you need to go sit down and take a play off. Even though there's only one play left. So, fuckery number 2. Now, that didn't work. So they're like, we get to play with Carr. Now, I've been a little hard on DC over the last week. I've been a little hard on DC over the last week. I'm not going to... But, and he even had a bad first half. But in the second half, he came around. And you can't fault a guy for trying to win the game. He went for the pylon. He lost the ball. Now, this rule has come up. I've seen it happen before. It's a rarity. It typically does. It's not happened on the last play of the game and decide a game. But in this scenario, it did. There's a gray area where it says in the last part of the game, you're not allowed to advance the fumble. Advance a fumble. The holy roller rule. A rule implemented because of the silver and black. Now, pose question to you. Ball goes out of bounds. Now, I understand if he fumbles it into the end zone, Dallas recovers, touchback. Fumbles it into the end zone. Nobody else touched it. And it goes out of bounds. That means nobody else had possession of it. That means you can't advance the ball. Derek can't advance the ball because he's on offense. Nobody on defense touched it. So how can you advance the ball and call it a touchback? Wouldn't then it go back to spot of the fumble? Wouldn't it come back to spot of the fumble? Pause. Hold up. Wait a minute. Do we got a troll in the house? Because if we got a troll in the house, we only got one rule in RAIDER ReACTION. You step up in here, you only got one rule. Bring the fucking fire. If you're going to step up in here and you're a troll repping another team, you step up in here and say who the fuck you're repping right off. because you should be proud of who you're repping. So, let's see it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Or we will dismiss your ass. Because if you were a proud fan of another team, when I step up in anywhere, everybody knows who I'm representing. I don't hide it. So if you got something to say it. Otherwise, sit down, shut the fuck up, and enjoy the show. Now, as I was saying, if he fumbles the ball, and you can't advance the ball in the last part of the fourth quarter, because the holy roller rule, then how can it be change of possession? It's back to spot of the foul on the 1. Now this is the only fault I will give Derek Carr for what in the final play is when you are the quarterback and you are on the field, you are the field general. When you are under center, you need to know every single possible, minute, crazy situation that could arise, and you need to know how to react at a split second's time. You need to know every scenario that could possibly happen. And you needed to know that in that particular situation, if you would have ran out of bounds, all would have been well. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. I cannot fault a guy with the adrenaline rushing, everything, going for the win, and you're that far away. I can't fault a guy for going for it. I can't. I want you to have that kind of killer instinct as my quarterback. So I cannot fault him for that. At all. At all. What happened, happened. That's a bang football play. That's a bang football play, man. You got two guys trying to hit a point, and they're on an angle going for each other at full speed. That you have a split second to make that decision. He thought at the last second if he reached he could get it or he wouldn't have done it. He guessed wrong. You know what? That's sports, man. That's sports. In basketball, you can't be afraid to take the last shot. You just got to take it. You're not going to make it every time. But you got to take it. Because you'll never make it when it means it. So someday this play will come back. Derek Carr is young, man. These are learning experiences for a young franchise quarterback. This whole season has been learning experiences. The whole season. Hadn't shook out how we thought it would. That's for damn sure. Hadn't shook out how we shot it would. Now, I want to go back to one of the points I was making. The Crabtree. Taking Crabtree out of the game. Because the way they put the concussion protocol in, obviously because of the gazillion dollar lawsuits they're up against for the CTE and the concussions, and so that's why they put the concussion protocol in. They got the tents, they've got the neurologists on the sideline. That's why they put all of that in. But the way they govern it and how they decide who and when somebody has to go in that, they're using it and they're wielding it as a weapon. You've got Tom Savage, who goes down, smacks his head, and basically has a goddamn seizure on the sideline. And everybody saw it. And that guy can just come right back in the game. But you're going to take out Michael Crabtree, a guy who wasn't even hit by anybody. just took a second to get up off the turf, and you're going to set him on the last play of the game. I've seen other quarterbacks, the league quarterbacks, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, fucking Tommy Rice Cakes. I've seen those guys. They're not going to send them to concussion protocol when they're in prime time and they get their bell rung a little bit, as long as they answer the bell and get back up and go back up there. They just don't. They treat it on a sliding scale of importance to their brand and the product they're trying to put on the field. Of course they did lines. Of course it was a play to Crabtree. He was the man in the second half. He was our number one wide receiver in the game. With Coop out, he's our man. He's our man anyway. That's what I'm saying. Go back and look at it now. After the fact. Fuckery number one. Gave the boys the first down. So they could keep that drive going in the fourth quarter and want them to score. But then we came back. Tried to take Crab out. The fumble. Should have been spotted on the one. Can't advance the fumble. The whole end of the game scenario just looked so dirty. So dirty. I had Cowboy fans contact me after the game and say that's hollow, man. That's shady. I can't believe what I just seen. It's the kind of, there's just a certain way that a sporting event is not supposed to end. And it's not supposed to be decided by folded fucking pieces of paper and dumbass rules. That's not what they're put in place for. That's not for the integrity. It's for the integrity of the game. Man, that was a good game. In the second half, that became a damn good game. It was back and forth. And coming down to the end, dude, we were all on the edge of our seats. And then you fucked us. It was plain and simple. Last night when I did my post-game reaction, I was more in shock that our season was over than I was able to sit back and look at actually what had happened during the game and what had transpired. Other than the last play and the fact the season was over. That was what was on my mind. But now that I've had the 24 hours to sit back and look at it and reflect, dude, there's so much more to it. We got fucking jobbed in that game. Thank you, Bobby. What about Patterson's return? Touchdowns taken off the board as well. Oh, man, you can't score that touchdown. What else could you possibly do to us in the second half to make sure that we didn't win that game on Sunday Night Football in prime time? What else? Jerry Jones, Roger Goodell's freaking backdoor ass dealings. You crooked ass son of a bitches. We got fucked last night. I'll take a loss. I'll take a loss when we lose because we lost the game. But when we lose because you changed the fucking rules and the parameters and how the game is called in the game, then that's some bullshit right there. That's some bullshit. And you fucked with the integrity of the game. And every fucking Raider fan out there has a reason to be pissed off about this. Because the bottom line is, we had a 57% chance to make the playoffs if we won out. You drop that now to an 11% chance if we win out and the fucking goddamn stars align with the planets in 3 fucking solar systems. That's the only way we can make it now. So you rip that away. Our last chance. We were winning that fucking game. And they knew it. They knew it. They knew it. It's fucking bullshit. Fucking Tuck Rule 2. It's the sequel. The Raping of the Nation 2. The sequel. Shitty. Shitty, shitty, shitty. This is Ghost of the Post as we drop back deep in the pocket every Monday and Wednesday. Wasn't the only game that happened yesterday. Wasn't the only big news story. Hey, did you happen to hear about this guy named Richardson? Happens to be, well, currently, he's the owner of the Carolina Panthers. Apparently, he's alleged to do some wrongdoings behind the scene. Allegedly. Well, if you're alleged to do something, and then all of a sudden you want to sell your franchise 2 days later, I'm guessing there's some pretty kinky skeletons hanging in this boy's closet. I'm just guessing. Just guessing. So now, today, he gives up day-to-day control. Now, that's not only part of the strangest part of this story. Guess who's the first guy to step up and say, I'm in line. Sign me up. Sign me up. P. Diddy. P. Diddy comes out and says, not only will I buy the team, as soon as I buy the team, my first signing is going to be Colin Kaepernick. He's going to be my new backup quarterback. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. We already got Jay-Z. I mean, hell, why not? Now, what I think we should do is we start kicking all the... We find the most racist, out of touch, douchebaggest of the owners. And we start having them picked off and replaced with multimillionaires of all different music genres. So we could give the Panthers to P. Diddy, and why don't the Texans, and with the guy, that made the shitty comment about the inmates running the asylum or the prison or whatever. We could pull that guy out, and maybe we can stick I don't know, Garth Brooks can run that team. So then you got Garth Brooks, so you got the country team and the hip hop team, and we can get maybe we can pull the owner from the Seahawks, and we can get Dave Grohl to be the owner of the Seahawks, so he can represent the grunge. Just think of the fan. I'm just out of my fucking mind. But I'm just just the thought of it. I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's going to be a time when there's got to be a shift in ownership at some point in the NFL. Because these guys aren't going to live forever. This is a very elderly, wealthy group of men who own the teams right now. So there's going to be a change soon too. Hell yeah, Bon Jovi, he can have the Bills, dude. He was trying to buy the Bills anyway. And we'll give him the Bills. He can be the hairband 80s owner, and he can have the Bills. I think that sounds fair. That sounds fair. We could give the Niners, we could give them the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir. They can own the Niners. But all music should be represented. I'm just saying. Equal opportunity. So we've got the Seahawks with Dave Grohl representing the grunge. We've got Garth Brooks owning the Texans. P. Diddy's going to own the Panthers. Bon Jovi's got the Bills, so he's repping the 80s rock band. And then we got the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir owning the 49ers. We're changing the world here at Raider Reaction right now. Do you guys think we're groundbreaking? Hell yeah. We'll let Cube, let's get rid of Mark Jackson. Cube can buy up the Raiders. And he can help run the Raiders. And maybe he can figure out how the fuck to keep him in Oakland and get us a goddamn new stadium. Somebody can figure out something. You know, Metallica's Raiders fans, you know them boys got some cash up in. Hey, figure something out. Pool together. Figure it out. So there were some big happenings, obviously, in the NFL. The biggest one with the Chiefs and the Chargers. Now, this was a bigger game, obviously, before what happened yesterday in the fuckery in Oaktown. But the Chiefs moved to 8-6 on the season. Pitbull should get a team. He gets the Dolphins, I guess. What other team would you give Pitbull? He'd have to have the Dolphins. Mr. 305? It would only be right. It would only be right. What's the score? Anybody got a score check on the Falcons-Bucks game? I assume the Bucks would get trucked in this game, but they may have a little spark because they're putting Gruden in the Ring of Honor at halftime. So maybe they're playing to show face because they're on prime time. So maybe they'll show up, but the Bucks are fucking terrible this year. Terrible. 17-14 Falcons. See, it's more of a game than I would have expected it to be. The Eagles-Giants game. This was a game after Wentz went down and everybody's, because Nick Foles is going to be able to carry them. It was a fair test as the Giants put up 29 points, but Foles threw 4 touchdowns against a weak Giants defense. I don't know if that was a real fair test, but I guess they got to feel good about coming out and seeing that out of your backup quarterback, because shit, if we'd have saw that out of McGloin when Carr went down, we'd have freaking been kicked back with our feet up, chilling, loving it. They obviously don't have the luck that we had. The Jaguars absolutely murdered the fucking Texans. And the Jags are in the playoffs for the first time in a decade. The Jags look like they're for real, man. They've got a good defense. They've got a solid team. They've got one problem. I don't care about the stats of Blake Bortles the last 3 weeks. Blake Bortles is a shitty quarterback, and that shit will show and shine when he gets to the fucking playoffs. You're going to see what kind of quarterback Blake Bortles is not. I don't care what you've done against the Texans and subpar opponents over the last few weeks. When you get into the playoffs, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty at all. If you're just joining me, oh, hold on. Do we got more trolls popping up in here? Hold on. We got a cowboy up in here. Oh, hold on. Hold the back the fucking truck up. First off, let's get one thing crystal fucking clear. Whoever just said that, you're gone. I've already removed you. But there is no such thing on any planet, in any country, in any territory, in any province, anywhere, period, is there anything remotely close to something called Cowboys fucking Nation. There's only one nation. Remember that. The fact you guys got handed a fucking win last night, stay the fuck off our moniker. Our moniker. We are the nation. Keep your America's team bullshit. An Eagles troll. Psh, Eagles are nothing. I ain't worried about the fucking Eagles. The Eagles are probably going to be alright the rest of the regular season, but they're going to get fucking trucked. You trust Nick Foles in the playoffs? No way. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't mind. Jeez, there's a flavorful bunch of you in here. A flavorful bunch tonight. Oh well. Yeah, exactly. Eagles fans, Billy is right. Eagles fans sit on this thing in Raider Reaction that we like to call the kiddie table. The kiddie table is a place for all of those bitch-ass teams that have never won a Lombardi trophy. Now you see, the Eagles sit right there on the kiddie table. Firmly planted. Because at the kiddie table, you can be seen but not heard. Us grown folks are talking. So you just stay over there at the kiddie table. Yeah, what kind of pathetic ass you want to come hang out in another team's show? Well, we're talking about another team. But I guess if... I'm sorry, man. I mean, maybe all the Cowboys shows suck. I'm sorry. I guess. Oh, Rip, you are not sent to the kiddie table. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense. Now, the Vikings. I've been saying, Prime's been saying, we've all been saying it for weeks, man, that we didn't think, I didn't believe in the Vikings. I just couldn't get on with it. No, because they're a kiddie table. They're sitting at the kiddie table for decades. And I mean, they beat the Bengals, man. They beat the Bengals 34-7. The Bengals, not a huge test for the Vikings, but I keep hearing all the talking heads tell me every week that they're for real. Vikings are for real, man. Case Keenum's for real. They're for real. They're a team you should worry about. Bye-bye, Marcus. Bye-bye. Well, did you hear that they're getting bought by the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir? We're setting this up. P. Diddy is buying the Panthers. The San Francisco Gay Men's Choir is purchasing the rights to the 49ers. We've got Dave Grohl buying the Seahawks. Garth Brooks is going to purchase the Texans. Bon Jovi is buying the Bills. Ice Cube is purchasing, in a joint partnership with Metallica, the Oakland Raiders. And they're going to be building our own stadium in Oakland with an awesome sound system and stage. We've got it all figured out. We've got it all figured out. We've got it all figured out. Got it all figured out. Now, the Rams are another team that we've been waiting to see if they're for real or not. 42-7 over the Seahawks. Oh, thanks. I got a terrible cold I've been fighting. Terrible cold. I'm not in a good way. But the Rams, 42-7 over the Seahawks. Now, I've been hearing like talk of Russell Wilson for MVP and what have you. I didn't see that Sunday. The Rams, however, with the running game, they look like they could be dangerous. They look like they could be dangerous. Now, we were talking earlier about our conspiracy theory on how they handed the game from us to Dallas. What about the end of the Steelers-Patriots game? If I didn't know better, I would think they want to make sure that the playoffs go through New England. Don't you think? To me, you make the catch and you make a football move. That's a touchdown. He made the catch, had the ball, made a football move, went into the end zone, broke the plane. That's a touchdown. If you run the ball, and you dive over the top, and you break the plane, that's a touchdown. Correct? Correct? So you have that coupled with what happened in our game. Just a shady look for the NFL officiating. Just a shady look. I understand that, Isaac. I understand that you have to have it to the ground. Now, I understand that. But that is, if you're catching the ball, you're in the motion of catching it as you're going to the ground. But what he did was he caught the ball and then turns and makes a move with the ball to go into the end zone. I don't know. It's getting so hard to tell what a catch is now and what a catch isn't. But to me, I don't know who said it. I've heard one of the guys say it. But if you go and you ask 50 guys at a bar, is that a touchdown? And they all 50 say it is? Is the rule probably wrong? I don't know. It just seemed the whole scenario just seemed shady with what went down at the end of our game. But I don't really care. I hate both those teams with a passion. You do have to have rules. I agree, Isaac, 100%. You have to have rules. Without rules, there would be anarchy and chaos. So we must have rules. I understand completely. But ever since the Megatron rule, the Des Bryant, it's gray, man. Every time there's a catch now, everybody's like, ooh. I gotta look at the replay. You gotta look, are the feet down? Did he get the feet down? Is he got control of the ball? Did it not wiggle at all? Did it happen to touch the ground when he rolled over? Did it move? You gotta look at about 10 things before you can even get excited and say, oh yeah, first down. So it's strange. It was a strange ending. And the strange thing is that was the late game. So I just got done watching that. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, man, that was a fucked up ending. And then here comes our game. Excuse me. Bless me. Thank you. Gracious. Pardon me. I am fighting a cold. Apologize for any stray mucus and spittle or what have you. There was just too damn much going on to not have a show tonight, even though I was a little under the weather. So, fuck it. Thank you, Lions. Thank you, Will. So, I apologize. I'm going to gross nobody out tonight, but I am sick. And I know, don't feel sorry for me because I'm sick, but it's 84 degrees out here, so don't feel sorry for me because you probably aren't sick, but you're dealing with a hell of a lot colder fucking weather than I am. I shouldn't even be sick. How you sick when it's this damn nice out? It's stupid. It's just stupidness. Stupidness. I probably got sick from the fucking game last night. I'm allergic to bullshit. Maybe that's the problem. I'm allergic to bullshit. It's maybe an allergy. Allergic reaction to bullshit football. Maybe that's my problem. It's probably going to clear up in a couple weeks. On a positive note, Derek Carr is the fastest Raider quarterback to reach 100 touchdowns. The kid's the real deal, man. He is the real deal. He is the real deal. I think this year will be a big learning experience for DC. I think it will humble him a little bit and make him hungrier. But this was a very, very disappointing season. We can't look past it. Thank you, Clifford. I appreciate it. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't read the comments on every post on the page because we post a lot of shit on the Raider Reaction page. Because I like to, any news story or anything that I see, we try to put it out there. We let you sort through it of whether you want to read it or not. You sort through it, but we'll find it for you. So we try to find every story from every major website, article, anything that we can find and put it out there for you. Now, I don't read all the comments on there, although I do skim through. But on my show, I come back and read every freaking comment every night. So, please, if I don't see your comment or I don't acknowledge you, please don't think that I don't see you or don't appreciate you. I appreciate any single second anybody takes to spend any time hanging out with me and listening to me on any given night. I absolutely, completely, 100% appreciate it. Thank you, David. Happy holidays to all of you as well. It is freaking right around the corner. And we're going to be live on Christmas because Christmas is fucking game day. We're going to have the live halftime show. We're going to have the post game and everything. But although this was a disappointing season, these guys are young, man. Our core is young, and we're going to be around for a while. We're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. We can learn from this. I really thought after what had happened and the bad burn of going down at the end of the season and going into the playoffs and that it was really, it was going to come back. But there was just something about the mojo of this season. Now, those of you that hung out with me through the off season, we talked all off season about how the mojo was great. Everything was going great. We were signing guys, signing all the rookies. We were signing everybody we needed. We got Carr signed. Everything was working great. Right up until training camp and then Donald Penn wants more money. Donald Penn is out for the season, by the way, in case you haven't heard. Torn ligaments in his foot, and he's out for the season. And then our rookies got hurt. All of our rookies. Vanderdoes has been playing. Marquel Lee has been spotty, but he's been hurt too. Both of our 2 stars, rookies that were supposed to help our troubled defensive backcourt, they didn't make it, so we dealt with that. Then we had Kneeling Gate in week 3 in front of the nation, right after the president had come out and said what he had to say. Penn's out for the season, David. Torn ligament in his foot. Penn is out for the season. Donald Penn is done. Out for the season. And then we went down the bad stretch, losing a few, and the season just started to look like it was unraveling, and it just continued so. We bounced back from New England, had the Denver, New York wins, but they weren't against great teams, and we didn't even look great in either one of those. It just looked like a season that was getting away from us. And Raider at Natalie, why bring Coop back? Why risk him? The season's over. I understand there's 11% chance if we went out and the stars align and Jupiter aligns with the fucking 3rd galaxy from the 7th sun over. That's not gonna... yes, I'm hoping... And I'll have my 2 fingers crossed, and I'll be stabbing every voodoo doll I can to see if it happens, but I knew if we lost last night, it was over. You had to know if we lost last night, it was over. You miss Alden Smith. You can find him at your local pub. Happy hour. Tell him I said hi. He's waiting on his call from the commissioner. It's not easy to win games and make the playoffs in the NFL. You have to have a good team. You have to have a talented team. You have to stay healthy. And you have to execute. Everything has to work. We thought we were there. We thought we were there. We weren't quite there yet. Just weren't quite there yet. Just weren't quite there yet. And I agree with Raider at Natalie. It's time to let see a few of these other guys. Maybe give the other running backs a little more time. Try some of these other wide receivers out a little bit. Try some of the younger guys on defense. Let's put Lawani in there. Let's set Nelson down because he's probably not gonna be around next year anyway. Stick Lawani back there. Let's see what him and Joseph can do back there. They're the future. Those guys in Obi, they're the future back there. Let's see what some of those guys can do. That's what we need to do now. That, and you know what? Fuck your kiddie table ass sitting fucking Eagles ass. I want to beat the fucking Eagles on Christmas. My Christmas Eve last year was fucking ruined, along with the rest of Raider Nation. I watched my quarterback break his fucking leg in the first playoff season in a long goddamn time. And it ruined my Christmas Eve. My fucking holiday was ruined last year. You know what? I want to win on Christmas. Fuck the Eagles. I hate the fucking Eagles. Always hated the Eagles. Fuck you. You couldn't win with fucking Jaworski. You couldn't win with Randall fucking Cunningham. You couldn't win with Rodney fucking Pete. You couldn't win with Donovan fucking McNabb. You ain't gonna get a chance to win with Carson fucking Wentz. And you sure the fuck ain't gonna win and raise your bitch asses up off the fucking kiddie table. Start Nick fucking Foles. Ain't gonna happen. So let's go to Philly on Christmas. And let's make the nation feel better for this fuckery that just happened to us this week. Because to say we ain't got nothing to play for, bullshit. I don't want a losing record. We ain't getting a winning record, but I don't want a losing one. Let's get 8-8. Fuck a losing record. We're too good to have a losing record. 8-8 should be the new goal. Any given Sunday, Isaac. Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Now, as I like to finish off my solo shows, I like to finish them off with this little thing called the WTF. And tonight, my WTF is... So I was working yesterday. It's a little side project. I'm helping a buddy of mine out at his home. And so while we're working, we had... I had the pregame on. And I was going from pregames to pregame. And I was listening to all of them, all the way through for several hours. I mean, I started way before because I was working there all day. So I was listening to the pregames, and there was a player coming back yesterday by the name of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you've heard of him. Well, Jesus Christ, if I had $1 for every time they mentioned Aaron fucking Rodgers and how great Aaron Rodgers was, and oh my God, the return of Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers this, and Aaron Rodgers, Jesus Christ, if you could have huffed and diddled his balls any harder on all of the pregame shows yesterday, I don't think it's possible. It was sickening. It's like you expected the world to carry his ass in on a fucking golden chariot and carry his ass in on our shoulders in a fucking golden fucking throne. Oh, the great A-Rod. Oh, fuck you. One Super Bowl. There's a lot of quarterbacks that got one. So until you start getting 2 or 3, I'm not holding your ass up there on a pedestal. And look, he's human. He's human. He comes out and throws, 3 picks yesterday? And they lose. They really thought that this guy was going to take almost 2 months off and come out and beat one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Does he... I'm sorry. I never saw his cape when he was playing. Maybe I just missed it. I didn't know he was fucking Superman. I have to say, to all that bullshit, and you huffing Aaron Rodgers' nuts so hard yesterday, what the fuck? Oh, what a long day it's been. I'm under the weather. I don't feel good. And that game last night made me feel even worse. I apologize for my illness this evening, but thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate it. Like I said before, I appreciate any second you spend with me on RAIDER Reaction. I'll be back tomorrow. The Raider Nation Report. A solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. Everything silver and black. As we'll put this one to rest and look forward to Christmas. The Eagles. Oh yeah. It's 2 more games. And I will enjoy them. Because it's months, possibly, without Raider football. So, we need to enjoy these 2 games. And support our team. That's what we do. Because we are the motherfucking Raider Nation. Win, lose, or tie. That's right. And I'm out. Thanks for joining me. Peace, love, Raider Nation!